Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. To ask a question, why are we back on Kongregate again? Also, let me just do the usual readjustment of the cameras. There we go. Not that will matter in the long run because, yeah, we're going to be kind of going on a little tangent, shall we say. Because here, I've kind of thought about something, you know, how I've been putting on Kongregate every now and then, but it just kind of occurred to me there, you know, earlier at the end of December, you'll no doubt know Adobe and the generation of Flash games coming to an end, and unfortunately what you could say, this being the, I'm just going to double check here, yeah, the 9th of July, and that is of today. Yeah, I'm well over half a year late to the party, unfortunately, and evidently a lot of the games that I last played on Kongregate sadly are, to kind of put it bluntly, they're no longer available, like they're just done. And it's interesting as well, considering that, if you're actually curious as well, because obviously I'm not saying it at the moment, and that indeed, yeah, it's funny, you could say with regards to Kongregate and that, it's went through a whole bunch of changes, and yeah, further curious, I was not actually aware that towards the end of 2019, I was curious what it was Greg, but apparently the previous owner, and I did say previous owner, that was Greer, and yes, he sold it to some corporation. I don't actually know. I need to actually do research and find out who it is, exactly who currently owns it. For they've kind of had a bit of a weird policy where they're less interested in kind of maintaining anything and more just the assets of Kongregate for whatever reasons that may be, whether it be benign and benevolent or malevolent and very much malicious. Indeed. The thing with this is that at the end of the day, and there's been a sort of a weird thing with having taken a break. Well, when I say a break, I mean I've kind of, for the moment anyhow, taken sort of a permanent hiatus from old school RuneScape, and also with console games only lasting so long. It's kind of given a bit of an eye opener towards my earlier years of gaming, and pretty much what I did initially was I was doing some digging around, see, or just come back and here, pop around, see if any of these games works. And well, what I'll do, I'll go on to the favourites and we'll work from the bottom up. Let's see, yes, let's go last. So, okay, I'll pick probably an easy one, and one I know it doesn't work. Yeah, let's say Kongregate Racing, one of the very first Kongregate games I ever actually played. Indeed, this was no doubt a classic back in the day, and there's a reason I'm not going to bother zooming this in. Oh, what's this? This S icon? Yes, Supernova Player. Yeah, there's something funny about that because Flash no longer working, they had to come up with a roundabout solution to keep going, and Supernova Player seems to be the one that does it. So, in essence, what happens is that obviously this window here, which would vary in size depending on which Flash games you're playing, you know, it takes that into a separate, you know, application like on here, and it kind of works like old school RuneScape. You know how old school RuneScape, you'd only be able to play it on the main page, and you'd never be able to have it on its own kind of thing like mine, how I would used to like kind of put mine on the side here, and the joys. But yeah, what I'll try to do, because it says here, site's trying to open so we're no launch, just, I should actually always allow it, but I'm always a bit wary, because even Supernova, I was like, is this going to be safe on my computer? I can confirm safely that it is, but it's just being fucking on the safe side, you know, really careful of that. But yeah, so, okay, we've got this here, we've got this weird name, yeah, Game Shell, bottom line, 4EF, 1B, 0E, E3533, and you'll get the idea. So you think, oh, it's just a random there for all the games. Not really. Basically, what happens, if it comes out with a game shell and that random series of digits and letters, it's basically fucked. And as in, it doesn't work for it. And this, unfortunately, applies for a good number of games. I would probably actually reckon it'd be up there with the majority. Like, around 50-60% games are like this. And it's a bit of a shame, really, considering that there's some classics I would have fucking loved to have covered. And there's only one that I've managed to kind of find a workaround, or when I say workaround, what I mean is outside of Kongregate and that. There is another workaround, and I'll get onto that in a moment. Because for you see, and I'll be showing off this list that I've been kind of covering and just, god damn, yeah, when you see all the sort of people and that, yeah, and this was not even 2021, but now it's just like, nah, it's been kind of dead for years. So if I had to say, because unfortunately, yeah, this entire page, as far as I'm aware, none of these work. Absolute zero. So like the older the games are, the more likely it is it's fucked. And yeah, none of these games work either. But Gravitee. Well, okay, I'm just going to do a quick check here. And you'll see here I've got a whole list of games, and this will be a more important part later on in that, yes. Indeed. So you might notice that, yeah, see here I've got these two links, and that's like, yeah, what the fuck is that shit? Is that like pretty much virus link kind of stuff? It's not really, but I'll show you in a moment as to why that is. So if we go into Gravitee, and you'll see here pretty much boots up about the same, and that you see, yeah, the comments, and pay attention to this guy here because he's kind of managed to figure out something. It's not actually that, it's not even barely been a month of that. Yeah, he's pretty much kind of clued into how you get it working in that, but that I'll need to figure out on my own. But for now, just pretty much see here, yep, game shell, okay, nip, nada zilch. Also, it's worth noting that you can't really expand these or, you know, like increase it that way. It's just whatever resolution it's in, it's stuck with. So you pretty much just have to do it. But yeah, if you get widescreen like that, it's kind of fucked. So how does one get around that then? So if you see here, yep, Supernova, okay, copy that link, say Supernova, and then this play, swirl, then HTTPS, Kongregate games, it comes with these two numbers, live, then what should be the name of the file that plays it, and then Swift Kongregate game version, and yeah, if you got all that, it's usually pretty good to go. So what I'll do here, get rid of that link, and then paste and go to. Now, this prompts a Supernova to be launched again, so say yep to that, and then suddenly, indeed, we get a different one, yeah, so it comes up with that, Gravitee final, press that, okay, maybe it's not as big, but yeah, you get the idea with that, and indeed, lovely Kongregate. So what I'll need to do here, I'll need to actually zoom this in, because God knows it will need that. That's about right, I think. I'm also going to be careful of the usual banging. Yeah, I would say that's about right. So, I don't know if sound's going to work in here, because I've checked here. Yeah, there we go. So, some Flash games are going to be a bit weird, shall we say, with sounds and that. Pretty much, as you see here, this is the very first game I tried and that to get working, and I was successful in that endeavour. Yeah, indeed, I was surprised actually, just kind of, you'll see here, this is going to be kind of a, if you haven't already figured, this is going to be a series, little, kind of like what I did with the Japanese games saga. Instead of covering Japanese PS1 games, it's going to be covering old Flash games, at least the ones I can get working and running anyhow. And yeah, pretty much cover as much as I can, at least realistically, and see how it goes from there. And yeah, as I say, there is an intriguing appeal, and now obviously a lot of these are quite simple, but at the same time, it is something that I like to go back to and at least cover, because what my biggest worry is, like, I've already left it long enough to the point I need Supernova, and this could very well forever lock me out of a few games, but there's the majority that I did mention with that little trick there and that, and if I can figure it out for myself, I might be able to get those games unlocked. But there is another little problem, that will be covered sooner or later, where it does load, but it doesn't run. And this is mighty unfortunate, but as I say, it shall be covered when it shall be covered. Alright, so indeed you'll see here with this tutorial now, obviously I won't try and be too long with this because, yeah, you kind of already figured on that. And yeah, essentially this is kind of like actually one of the more simplistic games, you know, as far as Flash is concerned. You know, it's just pretty much putting, but you know, planetary based golf gravity kind of stuff. And it's not too shabby, and not too shabby. Obviously, we'll try to figure it out here. Yep, there we go. There's sound. Yeah, nailed it. That. Yeah, indeed, that's very much an intriguing kind of balance of like putt golf, but with planets and that. Very much nice and that, but yeah, as I say, in that there's a lot of different courses with this, and it's just like, holy fuck. Like, where do you even start, eh? Where do you even start? Let's see. Yeah, another one. I wasn't this good as before, and I only think I tried up to, I think, the 5th or 6th course. But, damn, do I seem to be nailing it. And that's an easy one right there. Nice. Oh, Christ. I do say, though, it's just pretty much kind of getting used to the whole... What is it? I don't know. It is really nice once you get into the swing of things and just... Flash games and that. Flash indeed. See if that can manage with that. Nope. Fucked that one. Fucked it. Well, I think the actual line thing is shorter on the sequel, which I'll also be covering this kind of series, because if I'm going to be covering the first one, I may as well cover the sequel, at least for the games that I can actually cover and that, because there's some that, again, unfortunately, yeah, I can't really cover. Like one, like either the original works and then the sequels don't work, or one of the sequels works and the rest fucking don't. And in some weird cases, like some entries work and the others don't. It's just like, for fuck's sake. God damn. But yeah, certainly you do get games like that where it's just, as I say, so let's see if I can try ping that off. Get the angle right, you tits. Jazz it. Fuck off. Oh, I tried it. Let's see. There we go. Damn. But yeah, certainly, I figured in regards to Kongregate, obviously whilst I'm covering the series, I may as well document kind of my history with Kongregate as I go along. Seeing how there is a lot to be said about it, and no doubt there will be, I think, interesting to say the least, and that pretty much talking about the games and that, what's good about them. I mean, as I say, starting off, it's something that's, like, I'll be honest with you, you know, for what it's worth, yeah, this is like, it's not bad, but obviously, it's a bit on the simple side, and maybe this is some of that back as God, when did I first try to play Kongregate? I mean, if you're talking about this account specifically, this would have been, I want to say 2009, but I might be mistaken on that. But I mean, I got Kongregate way back, what would have been, I think, and about January or February of 2007 is when I first probably started, and it's just like, holy fuck. That long ago, and that, it's just like, Jesus Christ. It really makes you wonder, like, obviously, I know there's a thing to be said about time that's wasted and that, and I don't know, I don't exactly agree with that assessment. You know, like, obviously, you could spend a lot of time doing certain things. It's just like, you know, it's like good use of your time, and it's the same thing I find with old school RuneScape and that, pretty much, you know, like, all this grinding and that, when you could be doing things that's like a lot more exciting and fun, like, you know, I think time that's wasted when you're having fun, is it really time wasted then? So long as you're just having a good time? You know, it's that kind of thing, and it's just like, oh, god damn. Nah, I'm not going to nail that. Unless we're weaken it first. There we go. Nailed it. Yeah, just that kind of thing. I feel like pretty much, as far as Kongregate goes, and now obviously the mass appeal about Flash games by that, I guess they were evidently easier to make? Question mark? you know, and that's why a lot of developers and I mean, I think it goes back to the days of what was it back in the early 1980s and that when, you know, the whole thing with Atari and, you know, I know there's a funny thing to be said about that with quality control, and I reckon that we've long since passed the days where, like, you know, if like 80% of it's crap and that, you know, we have the tools necessary to be able to cipher through the crap and end up with something that's actually pretty good and that. So the good stuff actually gets put at the top and then the trash kind of remains near the bottom, and that really ever getting close to being recognised in that as it should. And that, yeah, it's just like, you know, what can you really do though? It's just in cases like, and even like some of the games that I've favoured on here, I would say aren't really that great, but because they hit such a niche, it's like really nice, and as a result on that, it's just pretty much, you know, you get an idea of what games you do like, and I reckon these are all favoured. I think -1, and if you've looked at the comment sections, you'll probably have an inkling as to what that might be, and just an inkling, and you know, like I won't have to really mention it, but right. So I reckon that should probably be that. As I say, I'm not like some games I'm going to cover quite extensively, like going further in depth. This I'm not really. You know, I'm pretty much just kind of going through it, and you know, yeah. As I say, there's also little bits lookables. You know, as I say, this is always a little bit of a nice appreciation just for playing the game and that for any period of time. You know, it's very nice like that. Right. And just, I think that's the thing, in that evidently when you give these sort of games the time of day and that, you know, it really is something, and it's just, yeah, I think that's what makes it ultimately so appealing back in the mid 2000s, late 2000s, even I'd say for some, the early 2010s, you know, just because, oh fuck, yeah, pretty much because of how everything worked and that back then. It's just, computers weren't as powerful, you know, generally, to try and even get a fucking AAA game to work on your computer was a bloody miracle. So never mind actually trying to get that on here, whereas Flash games, no, it's like, I would say if you can get past the graphics, a lot of those can actually be quite fun. My main issue with looking back to some of these, it's the depth, or rather the lack thereof. Like, very few have like actual concepts worth like 100+ hours. You'd be lucky if you get one that could be like, say, 10+ hours, you know? So it's kind of like pretty much what you got to accept, like, for the most part. These kind of games, you know, they're of a simpler era, and that's not to say it's a bad thing, on the contrary. You know, it's just, I think that's just kind of the thing, and obviously a lot of people like, fuck, I mean, right now I'm playing, was it Fall Guys and on. Oh boy, that's in its own little controversy at the moment and that, but I'll save that for another, what's the one of those critique commentaries. Also, yes, indeed, we get to have, what is it, a map editor, and then, oh fuck. Yeah, as I say, you can probably tell these are quite simple, and you know, it's nothing like super advanced. Also, I don't know the mass in that. I'm thinking there. Also, no, I can't move that. Oh well, fuck it. No. I don't know. Try to see if there's a way of. Let's see. Alright. Try to see if I can get one. Fuck it. Let's just try it. Ah! That's not totally broken. Yeah, that's not totally broken at all. Nope. Okay. Let's try this. Let's see if that's... It's a bit better, but it's still pish. Also, I think the Gravitee is a bit fucked. Something like that. As I say, I'm not really taking this too seriously. Right, holy fuck. My goodness. Ah, well. Certainly not too bad at that, eh? It's just like, holy fuck. Alright, so I reckon that to be that then. I don't know if I could actually get out of this menu or not. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, there's move. Yep, exit. There we go. So, alright, there we go. That is indeed the first Gravitee. And I did say the first because there is actually a sequel. I'll try to see if I can get up here now so you can see for yourself. Yeah, forgive the menu being a bit... Let's see. Gravitee. Yes, Gravitee 2. There we go. Also, fuck off, Kongregate. Yeah, I don't think I'm really going to be signing for most of these. As you'll see here. Actually, you can't really see. Hold on, I'll need to unzoom this a bit. Yeah, this is going to be fun, constantly unzooming and rezooming, but yeah, you'll see here pretty much, yeah, you get the usual fun comments, and probably what I ought to do, I actually really ought to reposition this so that it's kind of focused around here, because there's not much really that goes on outside up. There, something like that. Yeah, and just pretty much. Yeah, another one there, and that's indeed the link I got for to get that running and that. But yeah, what I reckon I'll do is next time I'm going to be covering the sequel, and I reckon after that I'll do bits here and there, because I have currently over 100 games through like 95 entries so far that I want to cover, and hopefully what I think is going to be the problem is like, can I realistically cover each and every one of them? Can I? Probably not. But this is where I'm going to have to prioritise. Like this I'm doing, like Gravitee 2 is, I think it was somewhere around the 70th, 80th kind of game and that. But because the way I'm listing it, if there's a game that's kind of linkable to a different one, it's like, rather than do 2 separate entries, and that you'll see probably better here. Yeah, instead of here and that, like, you know, pretty much to see all the different games and that, I reckon also that can fuck off. I need to rebalance that. I think also need to rebalance. Yeah, it's a bit of a work in progress, as you can tell. It's not quite set in stone, as you could say. Also, for fuck's sake. But yeah, pretty much you get used to it, and it's like more or less you work with what you've got, and from there it's just a matter of sticking at it, being kind of persistent, and yeah. As I say, yeah, games that load do not run. I'm going to be sure to cover that more in a different episode, but yeah, and that ought to be it. So next time, the sequel, ladies and gentlemen. Till then, folks. Till then.